We're watching the Chhaava teaser. This is starring Vicky Kaushal, Rashmika Mandanna, and Akshaye Khanna, directed by Laxman Uttekar. So let's jump into this. Here we go. That's
a
crazy.
lot of people.
Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj ko sher kehte hain aur ang
Ooh, Vicky. That's crazy. Dang! Get it. Oh my gosh. What the hell? What is that?
It's a killing thing.
Oh my god.
सिवा गया और अपनी सोच जिंदा छोड़ गया
Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj.
Wow. He looks incredible.
It's pretty epic.
That's very, very epic, yeah. Especially like the fight scenes that they're showing us. I mean, this is just a teaser, but color me teased. Yeah, I mean, this looks really cool. And the thing to me that really stands out with Vicky Kaushal is his acting and his commitment.
Yeah.
And so what I was really enjoying in watching these scenes as he's doing these like epic action things, which I feel is maybe a little bit different for him. I know he did action in Uri, but it was like a different...
It was military action.
Yeah, it was military action.
Yeah.
It was a different vibe. Whereas this is like that historical, epic grandness, like, you know... And you see it done a lot, but I feel like Vicky was really giving a lot of like, everything was committed, like the face, the body, and then like with his hair and everything, he was kind of looking like Rocky from KGF, which I didn't mind, but I was like, my God, I never like thought he could kind of do that type of look, and yeah, I'm excited.
I think that's actually a very interesting comparison because when I saw him, I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah.
He looked like a totally different person, which speaks to the effort on his part as well as the makeup department and costume department, because he just looks complete. Like, if you showed me that image, I would not have thought that was Vicky Kaushal.
Well, the thing is, though, Vicky Kaushal is such a good actor, and he's like a chameleon. And so every time I see him, I don't ever really think Vicky Kaushal. I think the character, which I think is like a really good thing.
That's a compliment for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he gets totally immersed in the character in a way that, you know, I always hope to see actors do, where you don't see the movie star anymore. You just see that person.
Yeah.
You know, I guess what I always hope for is more of what you get from someone like Daniel Day-Lewis, right? Where it's just like, oh, wow, that person's just that person. That's crazy. And so, yeah, he's definitely got the ferocity of a warrior.
Yeah.
I wonder how much training he did before this, or if it was just all sort of... I always wonder what goes into that. You know, if there's any training leading up to the shoot to just get like familiar with the weaponry and the movement and the style. Someone like him, I would imagine, you know, research and training and whatnot, but that's me kind of projecting because he's such a talented person. I'm like, well, the only way is doing your homework, doing your research.
Well, yeah, and we've talked to him as well, and he is very much that guy who does the like method, you know, and he gets really into it.
He might be like a Chara Kirk, where she's not listening in class, but she knows all the answers still somehow and picks up all the information anyway. And so he might just show up to set and be like, got it, pa, 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 you know. He remember when we interviewed him, he talked about how he did some work with his dad, and he wanted to wear some pads and stuff like that. And it was an experience for him that was like kind of a teaching lesson, because his dad's like, do you see any other stunt guys wearing pads? And Vicky Kaushal was like, no. And the dad's like, all right, let's do it. And so I think that from there, he learned a certain kind of attitude and approach to things. And I wonder how much of that applies here. So I don't know if that's a stretch, but it made sense in my head before I said it out loud. So.
No, because he is that guy who's like just very committed. And you mentioned weapons. I was like just blown away by that one weapon that he had that was kind of like attached to his hand. He looked like an X-Men or something, where he came out with like these swords on his hands and just like launched into that guy.
Oh, were those swords? I thought it was like logs or something.
No, they were swords. It was a weapon. And then he like put it on the guy. I mean, there was some cool looking stuff going on.
That was pretty wild how this thing came right by the camera, by the way. Like, I wonder, first off, how close is that camera? Second, is that real?
Or CGI.
It looks real.
It looks real. And even like, I can't really tell with all the people because it's so impressive to me, just the number of people that he's fighting against, but especially in that beginning scene where there were so many people outside.
Well, it looks harrowing for sure. You know why he looks so different also? I think that he must have put on some muscle weight or something like that, because he just looks like bigger as a person.
Right.
Because like I'm so used to seeing him being like this very slender guy.
Right. Yeah.
That's how when he first came on the scene, and most of the roles I've seen him in, he looked kind of like that. And then we saw a shift in him with Uri. Mm-hmm. And then it just has progressively, towards this now,
Yeah.
But
we're always growing. Some of us.
No, well, I mean that in a complimentary way, because he just looks more like you don't want to mess with him.
Well, that makes sense for this role. 'Cause
Yeah.
He's fighting. He's a warrior here.
Which
Okay, not that one.
by the way, the Mario jump. That was pretty cool. Like the way they come out with that Mario jump at the top of the trailer, boom, boom, and then leaps.
Then he just leaps.
Yeah, I mean it feels. I don't know how. I have no idea how realistic like the height is, because he's getting that momentum to jump, right? And I don't know if they were practicing, like Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, like practicing their hops and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But like he got hops. He jumped off that last guy and leapt up like 10 feet.
Yeah.
And so it looks like wire work to me.
Yeah.
But it still looks cool.
It looks cool.
And so I'm imagining that's one of those things where you're sort of just embellishing for the art. You're making it look cool for the art.
Yeah.
But here we have this thing you're talking about. It looks like wood to me.
No. I'm not talking about this. That's definitely wood.
Okay.
He comes out like after this part.
Okay.
He launches out after this.
Okay. Well, this is all I remember.
No. This! What the freak is that?
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I see. In my brain, I thought it was the same thing because
No.
it was all happening so quick.
How is that the same thing? Look, it's like metal and cool.
I'm not sticking to the argument that it's the same thing. I'm saying initially I thought it was because I saw that in his hand, then I saw this.
I mean, I can see that, but like that's so badass.
Yeah.
Like, is that some sort of Maharashtrian weapon? Because I have never seen anything like that before. And I think, obviously it looks super cool in this kind of fighting situation. I wonder how practical it is.
Yeah. You guys, okay, finish your thought, please. Jesus, finish quick.
I wonder how practical it is to fight with. But I'm sure, there must be a way to use it super effectively because you can get everyone,
You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I'm Jaby Kaushal. This is
Achara Cook.
Peace out.